Hello, everybody, and welcome to Mac Yak number 143 for November 4th, 2021. And who's this handsome fella right behind me? We have Joe. Hey, Joe.
Hey, everybody, how you doing tonight?
Joe's going to be all excited and awake for us while we're all just like, huh? What? So that's why we have him here. The coffee.
It's the coffee.
Right. That's a very good excuse. All right, so welcome to Mac Yak, guys. Just a quick little announcement I want to make here. Let me add this to the stream. So it's unfortunate, but one of our members of the Mac Yak community, Mike, of course, his little kitty passed away today. So just want to give a shout out and condolences to our good friend Mike. Shadow was one of these cats that just like lived the way he lived because he was awesome and just loved sitting in sinks. So honor cats today, like Shadow, by just lazing about and getting a drink and just eating until you feel sick and laying around in a sink, because that's what I'm going to do.
I was going to say, how about coughing up a fur ball, too?
Yeah, there you go. But Shadow was spoiled rotten, obviously, like all of Mike's cats. So Mike's not here today, but next time you see him, or if you have his email address, just give him a hello. We're all here for you, Mike. We appreciate, everything that you do, even all your live streams with all the kitties in the background, even if they're loud and vocal. But Shadow was not one of them. He was a quiet one. So, but our condolences, Mike. Just want to give you a little shout out there, and we're here for you if you need us. And I'm not as fuzzy as a cat, but I'm trying. So that's a vain attempt at a humorous segue. Okay, so
we also have Jay missing tonight.
Yes, Jay is lovingly restoring homeless beige Macintosh computers off of the streets. He just loves beige so much that is his mission now, and we can't stop him.
That almost like you were about ready to take a 4-hour trip one way and a 4-hour trip back to rescue 2 monitors.
I only wanted the one, but if you twist my arm and there's another CRT there and it's for free, how am I going to say no? But if anyone's in the upstate New York area and you want some CRT monitors, let us know on the Mac Yak Discord, because I don't think they have much time left.
Just out of curiosity, have we ever had a "how far have you gone to grab a Mac" question on this show? Because that could be a good one for a future one.
Well, let's make that one of our topics today, because we have some space maybe. So we'll give people a chance to think about discussing that. But that's a good idea, Bruce. Look at you coming up with topic ideas on the fly.
Man, now you gotta have me have to make a topic thing.
We gotta keep GT awake here.
Yeah. I like making work for people. Make them feel important.
Oh gosh. All right. Well, how's everyone been doing? Any fun things you guys been tinkering with? We'll go. We'll talk to Greg first. Greg, what have you been doing?
I haven't been doing much of anything. I did collect a compact PC recently. It's the compact luggable? Portable. The luggable. I wouldn't call it portable so much. It's
a suitcase?
It's a suitcase. In fact, the reason why they made it that way is because it fits in a aircraft overhead bin.
Mobile.
Yeah. It has no batteries. It has no batteries. You have to plug it in for it to work. So
the future is now.
Unfortunately, I don't have a boot disk for it, so I'm not able to do anything with it right now. So
I think I might be able to help you. Mike was telling me that one of the IBMs I have has a special older floppy drive that could make those discs, and Joe probably has a plethora of stuff. So either way, if the price is right, we'll help you out.
Yeah.
Meet that out to Joe Castro Snyder. I'll meet you in Hawaii.
What about you, Bruce? What have you been up to?
More of this. I've mainly been working, sort of like as in my normal day job type working, and of course investing a bit of time in the old Tinker Different situation. We've been very, very busy on Tinker Different, making that, making it as good as we can possibly make it, which is great. We'll talk about that a little bit later on. But and I've also been trying to wheel and deal myself a Macintosh 2FX, which has been an interesting one. I had 2 separate sources, where I had 2 separate people saying to me, I've got a 2FX that I think I can probably sell you. And the first one, it was all looking good. We agreed on a price and everything. He said, no worries, I just got to pull it out of the shed and have a look at it.
Oh, no.
And guess Guess how it looked.
Like one of Jay's
it,
specials.
it just it involved the battery. Let's just say that. So that was I'm getting it anyway.
But that's not the working one.
Yeah, but it's and then of course the other person I then spoke to, he went and did an audit of what he had, and it turned out that he only had one 2FX and he thought he had two, and needless to say, he didn't want to part with the only one that he had. But it does look like a shout out to Nick if he's watching. It does look like I will be getting a Mac 2X out of this deal, which is something nice because, as I say, I've never even recapped one. So that will be nice to get that. I'll be sort of lining that up with him. So that's here we go. That's the most important thing I've been doing.
And what about you, Grudy? Besides not getting a haircut, what have you been up to?
Oh, you're funny.
I know.
He's got more hair on his chin than he does his head.
That's sadly true.
It's all right, buddy. You got one leg up on most of us. So there you go.
But yeah, I've been working on a lot of projects. I released that one video earlier this week about clamshell prototypes and scams. And tonight I'm releasing another video after the show about a plastic box, and I won't go into any more detail.
Stop making us look bad.
Yeah. Well, I looked at your prototype one, or the Mac, or the clamshell one, and I think somebody should make a drinking game of how many times Grudy actually says prototype in that.
Well, you're going to have, if you want to play a drinking video about how many times I say plastic box in the video tonight.
I watched it last night. Yes.
I was going to say,
you'd be dead.
One of the things I wanted to tell you, Grudy, is you should have said what you said when you found that first computer. What did you say?
It's a prototype.
No, it wasn't like that. It was a lot louder.
Grudy was like,
I'd blow everyone's ears up.
Yeah, he was like climbing the wall. He was.
Yeah. I was shocked.
Can I tell you something, Grudy? After watching that video on the plastic box, I came up with this absolutely awesome idea. What you need to do is you need to go and get yourself a little tiny battery, put it inside that, and make it so that it does actually work as a battery, but like only for 3 minutes.
Well, I was thinking of because Sean made this comment about overclocking the plastic box. I'm thinking of putting a Raspberry Pi in it now. Make it more useful.
You know what you could do? You could. This is getting a little technical here. You could just reroute, the Ethernet port and just internally wire the Ethernet to that Pi, and then the Pi could bridge Ethernet to wireless, and there you go. Now you got a functional bay.
I'm loving the sound of this.
But
I don't have to do it. So there you go.
Tomorrow.
But Grudy doesn't use Ethernet.
Exactly. He'll never miss the port.
It's a good point, sadly.
Oh, boy. All right. So, Joe, what have you been up to?
Oh, about 5'11".
Good
I done
That long, huh?
But no, I've got to.
It's a family show now. Come
No,
on.
it's not. It's PG, kids. PG.
Okay, PG-13.
I got plenty non-Mac stuff going on, but on the Mac side, I have a wonderful friend of mine who's sending me a Color Classic to convert to.
I thought it fell.
Missed it. Yay.
So
Everyone's
that's gonna be
favorite upgrade.
So that's cool. And then they're like, "Hey, do you want an extra board to upgrade yours?" I'm like, So that's going to be happening pretty soon.
Cool.
Going to do a video about that, and then we've got a wonderful, nice MacBook Pro here to play with. So that's what's going on in my world.
We'll be talking a little bit about that later on.
It is wonderful that there are so many surplus 575 boards out there because there are so many smashed cases that died in transit, and so you've got all these loose 575 boards becoming mystic. So, but I don't know if anyone saw. There was a post on Facebook the other day. Someone who grabbed the little badge from the front of the Classic, cleaned off Color Classic, and then got some of that kind of like water transfer lettering
It's water
in
slide
Garamond,
decals.
and and did Mystic on it.
Oh,
It
that's cool.
looked fantastic. I mean, it really looked
Cool.
good. I was tempted to do it tomorrow.
You're giving me ideas for his.
I have been unceremoniously playing with infrared-enabled cameras that don't want to do much of anything with the iMac.
It's been
Let me
entertaining,
guess.
though.
I missed your live, so I'm guessing it didn't happen
you didn't
again.
miss much. Well, there was a lot of discoveries of things doing things that things go do, but no, not necessarily anything I wanted to happen. But we learned a little bit, and I am very much doubting that Steve Jobs' boast of "you can beam your digital cameras to the computer from a camera" was actually something you could do without like a bunch
Lies.
of software. Yeah, exactly. Marketing lies, smoke screen. But
No, that's
Theoretically.
that's that reality field, you know.
yeah, reality distortion field. I mean, theoretically, yes, it could be done. Was there a software and a device that could support it? I haven't found one yet, and I'm starting to run out of money to spend on crappy cameras on eBay. So, and Bruce broke his, so that doesn't help. But yeah, that's what I've been up to. I was doing some repairs yesterday, and I have some very sad Macintosh Plus machines that I have to get up and running. So
Yes, that was quite interesting watching you each time you pulled a new Mac Plus out, finding that it didn't work. It's like you're gonna have to deal with it someday.
no. This is how we work here at Mac 84. We keep going to the other machine, and we find that kind of works, and then we just ignore the rest of them. For a while.
Yeah, that's right. Come back to the others another day.
So I'll have to come back to those Mac Pluses. But I did get from Bruce's advice. He pointed me in the direction, as you saw maybe in the previous live stream. I had some trouble with my heat gun, so Bruce pointed me into a direction of a new heat gun that gets hotter and faster and blows more air. It blows better. So that's
It sucks less.
it sucks less. So that is something that I should be getting in a week or so. So I'll be, of course, letting everybody know when that comes and how much it blows. All right,
Will
so
change your life.
change my life, hopefully. So we don't have too much news here today. Just wanted to cover a few things. One thing that I thought was interesting was that there was a post on Mac Rumors that the 4th generation iPad, that's the first one with the Lightning connector, is now obsolete by Apple. And that was from 2012. So, it's a bit longer than they usually do with their vintage ones.
Isn't that the first one with the Retina display too?
No, I think the 3rd gen was the one with
The third gen was.
because it got super beefy hot and was still doing the 30-pin display.
And it was extremely
connector.
slow. Yeah.
I mean, I have a 4th gen and it works okay, but yeah, nothing. It had to get stuck on iOS 10. So
Well, the 3rd gen was literally just an iPad 2 with basically what would later be the iPad 4 screen on it. That's why,
I think I remember seeing a photo of like the iPad 3rd gen screen, the iPad 4th gen screen, and the screen thickness is like drastically reduced.
Well, I think that's because when they started fusing the screen to the digitizer, it made it a lot thinner. But it was, remember back in the day, they used to have them separate so you could actually replace the digitizer without replacing the whole LCD. Yeah.
Yeah, so that it's obsolete. I mean, is anyone going to miss it? No. No. So but I just thought it was interesting because usually they last shorter. Apple obsoletes them very, very quickly. But there you go.
Yeah, that's getting closer to my 7th gen. So.
And the other bit of news here was from iFixit. There was a report that iFixit gets these new iPhones and they tear them down. They do all sorts of crazy tests because they have the money to burn on this stuff, apparently. And they tried to replace one iPhone 13 screen with another iPhone 13 screen and found that because of serial number syncing and switchery tomfoolery, Face ID doesn't work anymore. So,
oh no, the same problem the 12 had.
Exactly.
Didn't what's his name from Australia already know that because he did a video with that?
What was his name?
Yeah.
What's his name?
Jeffrey.
Jeffrey.
Hugh Jeffries. Yeah. He already did that, and he's actually said that Face ID is broke. There's a whole bunch of things that break when you change screens and stuff like that.
And it's not a surprise because, like Rudy said, the iPhone 12 was the same thing. I just thought it was interesting because, it's just continuing the trend of this repairability stuff that's not repairable until you sign up to like the Apple whatever service thing, and via the cloud you could actually sync all the serial numbers from the parts and junk. But nobody's gonna do that.
Yeah, and that's what Hugh Jeffries found out, is that he bought 2 identical iPhones, and he tried basically taking a genuine screen and replacing it, and it broke stuff, And
do you think some clever clogs out there might figure a way of like downloading the unique data in the screen and then uploading it to another one?
Somebody's going to do that, I think.
There is a sketchy Chinese board programmer thing that you plug the screen into. It dumps.
I was there at
ROM
sketchy
and all that stuff, and then you plug the new screen in and it uploads the ROM. It may. I figure it probably will eventually be updated for something like that. So.
It wouldn't surprise me as soon as they do that, Apple's going to put some sort of encryption challenge command process in those. So it's not sending raw data. It's going to send actual encrypted streams that they have to match in order for it to be able to read.
Which is just silly because it's just e-waste. That's all I hear.
That's right.
Oh boy. All right. Well, that's really about the news. Except that Jay loves beige deeply. That's the other news. That's just an ongoing thing. But what are you gonna do? Mm-hmm. And all right. So our special guest here is Joe for today. And before we get into our topics, Joe, can you tell us a little bit about who you are, what you are, why you are, and what the heck are you doing on YouTube?
Well, you forgot when I am. I'm still in 1980. So
that explains wood grain behind you.
Okay, so
and that's not just from LCR. That's not just from LGR, right?
No, this is Joe Grain.
So I'm Joe from Joe's Computer Museum. If you didn't obviously know, and I'm in my museum right now. I'm just a stupid nerd from the 1980s who plays with old computers on the internet and shows it off and hopes people that like what I do. I mean, that's really all it is to it. And
you say that like it's a bad thing.
Well, but I usually focus on Apple II stuff, but I'm all over the place. I love my old Macs dearly. I have an Atari 520 ST on the bench right here, right now. So, and there's an Apple III back there, and so I do all the things, yeah, that's it. I mean,
you're the co-creator of Marcintosh. Huh?
Oh yeah, there's that thing too.
Yeah. We can do it again this year. That sounds like
yes, absolutely. Yeah, Ron from Ron's Computer Videos.
I'm renewing the domain name right now.
There you go. And Steve, we kind of put together this Marcintosh thing where every March we do the thing like they do in September for the Tandies and all of that stuff because Macs are better. So let's do that.
Joe, why are all your subscribers leaving? Hold on, wait. That's
oh no.
Awesome. Yeah. Well, thank you.
And
for
if I'm not mistaken, the September one that was for what was it, Tandy?
Yes, Septandy.
Yep. So now that's a 30-day month. March is a 31-day month. So we get a whole extra day. So,
yeah, Bruce is going to live stream 24/7 on that extra day.
Full 24 hours extra.
Oh dear.
24 hours, then the extra 7 hours just for good measure. So there you go.
Just think if it was February or something, and then we'd be like short.
you feel gypped unless it's a leap year.
Unless it's a leap year. Yeah.
So
and you're still gypped.
So we've been wanting to have Joe on the show for a while, and Joe got a new toy he's been playing around with on his stream. Oh, look how fancy.
Shiny.
And Joe did a live stream all about his new toy when he unboxed it. So go check that out. We'll put I'll struggle to get the YouTube link here and put it into the chat. But we did a live stream. The reason I say we is Joe graciously invited me to hijack his stream for a little bit and allow him to, do things like take his medicine and important stuff, while I danced around and entertained people.
Steve was very, very helpful and always gracious guest. So I thank him for his extra services, not requested, but graciously
forced upon you.
Yes.
So what was interesting is, you had what model MacBook did you have previously? You had an Air, you said?
Yeah, the poor old guy. This guy right here, MacBook Air. This is like the 19 model. the pre M1 model, and it broke it. It died. I closed my headphones on it.
Ooh.
And it was the screen was broken, but was fine. I plugged it in. I set it to the side. I'm like, I'll deal with it later. And now it's completely dead and won't turn on. But
lovely.
I heard it won't DFU. I can't reset it or do anything. So, but that's fine. I'll figure that out later. But I heard, because I have all these wonderful people like you guys who know things about the Mac world saying, so wait, there's a new Mac coming out. I'm like, okay. So I wait, and then the MacBook Pro comes out. I'm like, okay. So it's funny because like everybody's like, this MacBook Pro is like the awesome mobile workstation. I use it to watch cat videos on the internet.
Really pushing that CPU.
Yeah, man. But I'm a weirdo. I like my stuff to be super fast and crazy performance so that it does the thing and gets the heck out of my way. I've been dealing with a 2012 MacBook Pro back here as my backup Mac. And trying to watch internet anything is just like you click a button and it's just like.
What are the specs on the 2012? Just out of curiosity, because I'm using a 2012.
This guy, oh gosh, it's been so long I don't even friggin' remember. i5, 8 gigs of RAM, 256 solid state.
And what OS are you running on it?
Big Sur.
That's the reason why it's so slow.
Well, see, I'm an old Mac guy. I don't know anything about these new ones. You guys,
these newfangled operating systems.
Should have put Mojave on it. I'm willing to bet you it'll run. Oh yes, it'll run.
Now that I got the new one here, I can actually do that on this. I gotta.
And then you have 32-bit apps access. There you go.
Exactly.
Yeah.
We're all about the OS hardware balance thing, when it comes to old computers. We're definitely the experts on that.
Yeah, and I come. Everybody boo me in the chat, but I come from the Windows world where it sucks on everything all the time.
Ooh.
So it doesn't matter. You just throw the newest thing at it, and it's going to suck just as bad as the other one, just different.
Mike will agree with you in the chat.
So,
and if Jay was watching, he just threw up a little bit. So.
Jay's just not paying attention. He just vomited like a gallon, and he just doesn't know why.
One of the very defining differences between Microsoft and Apple is Microsoft are selling you their software. So they want it to work on as many things as possible. Yep. Apple is selling you their hardware. So they want you to replace your hardware as often as possible.
Yeah.
Holy crap, we cracked that nut.
We've broken the code.
Yes.
Steve Jobs is rolling in his grave, poor guy.
No, they figured it out. When Joe did the live stream, I threw sort of a curveball at him because I was very curious and for my own self-interest, obviously, was very curious to see if his MacBook Pro would best my Mac Pro, which obviously it probably would have, in a series of tests. And one of the tests that I thought was a decent real-world test is taking a 10-minute Final Cut Pro project or whatever, sending him all the files. I'll render it on my system, send him the same settings and whatever, and have him render it on his system. And so my Mac Pro took about 7 minutes and 30 seconds, and Joe's took about 3 minutes and 30 seconds.
Now,
and Joe's is the base model.
Yep.
Can we get a quick recap on the specs of your Mac Pro? So that we
Yes,
can
absolutely. My Mac Pro or Steve's Mac Pro?
Well,
box?
both. We need both.
You go first, Joe.
So this is the base model MacBook Pro with the M1 Pro chip in it, 16 gigs of RAM, I think it has, and the 1 terabyte of storage. It's got the newest operating system. See, I'm a bad guy. I'm a bad Macker because I don't even know what it's freaking called. It's got
Monterey.
Monoluma.
Yeah, it came with the newest OS on it. It has the wonderful notch that everybody seems to hate, but they don't realize they're getting more screen real estate. And that's it.
Quiet, GT. He's a guest.
No. I was actually going to say something good about it because I actually did look at the notch at one in live in person at my work, and I take back what I said. The notch does disappear completely.
Hold on.
However, I still, when it's up there in the bar, it drags your eye up there, So
yeah, it is.
So
I will say it's interesting to look at, but I don't have one, so I don't know.
Well, as I said on the live stream last week, people are behaving like the camera has encroached on the screen space. But this is not the case. The screen has encroached on the camera space. You're getting more screen real estate than they had before. So,
the menu is out of the way, basically.
You could put so many sticky notes up there. And the specs of my poor aging Mac Pro is a mid-2012 tower, so it's a 5.1 classic Mac Pro, dual 306 gigahertz 6-core Intel Xeon processor, 38 gigs of DDR3 1066 memory, and we have a Radeon RX 588 gigabytes graphics card, which means diddly squat because Joe's low-end machine beat the crap out of it. Mm-hmm. So there you go.
It took longer for Steve. It took longer for Steve to teach me how to use Final Cut Pro to get the render than to do the render.
I thought you were going to say it took longer for me to read off the specs of my machine than it did to take you to do the render.
That too.
Man,
it's crazy. The of all of the features of the machine as well, the biggest thing that actually surprised me is the sound that comes from it. I don't know if any of you have had the chance to, and it's hard to even go in the Apple Store because it's so noisy to hear one, but sitting on the thing on your lap, it's surround sound. I don't know how the heck they do it. It's magic. It has the best sound out of a portable computer that I've ever heard.
That's what I was hearing too. Yeah,
it's insane. It's it's like, oh my gosh, I can hear stuff to my left. What's over? Oh, it's the sound coming out of my Star Trek episode. It's nuts.
Why is Steve in my basement? Oh, thank goodness he's not.
I thought he was going to say it's insanely great, but
Oh no, Jay is here. We have to stop making fun of him. But yeah, so I actually did pass along the that Final Cut Pro project just to a few other people because I was very curious after Joe's tinkering around there, and I sent it to Tom of Blue Scuzzy fame, and he did a test on his M1 Mac Mini. So this was just the standard Mac Mini, not a brand new model or anything like that. And
why didn't you send it to me?
Because I knew if I would send it to you, I'd get it back next year. Tom's results were 3. You have Wi-Fi. It would take you forever to download 7 gigs of project files. So Tom's results were 3 minutes and 56 seconds. This is on a Mac Mini M1, 16 gigs of RAM. So very comparable. Joe's was faster by 30 seconds. And then a friend of mine who has a pretty excellent benchmark here. I'm just getting the little spec that he sent me. And so Dan is the person I'm referring to. I'm going to put this blog post that he did in the chat here, if I could find my window. There we go. Oops. There we go. And what's cool about this is he's into a lot of video and photo and audio stuff. So he really did a thorough review on his Mac Pro and MacBook Pro rather. And I think he got the 16-inch and he tested the camera and all this stuff. But what he did do is he did the same YouTube video render, that challenge that I sent him. And his took 3 minutes and 24 seconds. So if you want that extra 8 seconds, you got to max out your MacBook Pro, I guess.
Can I officially request to get the thing as well? Because you and I have virtually the same spec, and I would just be curious to see whether we get the same number.
I would like to get it too, because you have the single processor Mac Pro, correct?
No, mine's a dual.
What processor are you using?
The 6-core 3.06 Xeon.
Okay, so same ones I'm using then.
Yeah.
How much memory?
38 gigs.
38?
Yeah, one of the modules is not happy.
Oh, okay. I was like, what?
It's a Mac 84 special. The computer was free. What else do you want?
Yeah, suits me because I'll run it on mine because it's comparable specs to yours.
Yeah,
but I have a 580 GPU, so it might be a little bit, but who knows?
I mean, mine's the
yours is a 580, isn't it?
Yeah, mine's a 580. Yeah.
But is it Mac Flash?
I've got the 590, which is virtually the 580. So
yeah. All right, so I'll send you guys the project files, and you could yell and make up different speed comparisons and tell me how much my computer sucks. So that'll be fun.
No, Steve will be like, "Thank God it's not just my computer."
No, watch. Everyone's going to be double the speed.
I never converted my Mac Pro, so it's still running on the 2009 specs. other than the Vega 56 in it. So mine would probably be pretty slow.
But Joe, you basically feel that it's a pretty zippy experience using that one, just day-to-day stuff?
Oh, yeah, it's absolutely stellar fast. The launching applications, after you've launched it once, before a reboot or whatever, the next time you launch an app, it's like that. It's instantaneous. FCP launches in 6 seconds.
So I'm wondering
that's loading that's loading the project that Steve sent me. It just auto-load. It just. Done.
I wonder if it's like it does in an iOS. You know how it puts stuff off to the side and kind of doesn't run, but when you bring it back up, it's like boom, instantly there.
Yeah, that's a good observation. I'm not entirely sure, and if it's doing that, it's doing that under the hood.
Well, the OS is doing it, yeah.
But yeah, so
just there's some chat about
it's just instant.
People in the chat there.
Crazy.
The video footage was a mix of 4K HDR 8-bit from the iPhone 13 Pro and some 1080p from my DSLR. So there's some H.264, H.265 stuff in there. So it's not a easy project to render. Nothing crazy like we weren't rendering at 4K. We were just doing a 1080p video thing. So it's using native video and downscaling stuff and whatever. And,
but it's only taken about 8 minutes on yours, so it's not that bad. So
and the project was like 11 minutes. So whenever you're rendering a video thing and it's rendering faster than the actual length of the video, you're pretty good. And so this machine is really not too bad.
Yeah, I've rendered videos on mine that were about an hour and a half videos, and it took it like almost 2 hours sometimes to.
Yeah, it depends on the effects you use and all these sorts of things. And Joe is now going to be an expert at Final Cut Pro, and so he's going to show us all the things that he figures out with it. Well, he was doing a cool demo on his live stream. He was just dumping filters and layers onto this video, and it was just playing like there was no problem.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, how many filters did we end up putting on there? Like 10
you
or
just
15?
you just kept going.
And you hit play, and it would play instantly, and it didn't stutter, stop.
Yeah,
no beach balls.
I press the space bar on my machine, and I wait for the little thumbnails to show on the timeline, and I'm like, okay, there they are.
So the scrubbing, if you scrub the on the timeline and stuff, does it scrub really fast?
It's instant.
Wow.
Yeah. It just
wow.
And and Ed in the chat is saying, other software use the GPU. Yeah, Final Cut uses the GPU as well.
Yeah,
and
you can see it.
Yeah, you can see
when
it.
when you bring up the activity monitor.
Oh, look at
you
that.
can see the GPU activity going.
Wow.
Oh yeah. That's so not.
I'm willing to bet
my
you
experience.
that Final Cut Pro has been optimized now for the M1 already.
Oh, of course.
It's an Apple product.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
So can they please do the same for Aperture, please? Apple, Aperture, please.
Come on, please. Crickets. So yeah, I mean, but at this point, an NVMe PCI drive adapter or whatever for a Mac Pro, I'm not putting that amount of money into this machine. That's going towards a new machine.
Yeah.
That's only makes sense. Eventually when I get a new Mac, this one's still sticking around. I'm using it for whatever I need to, 32-bit apps and stuff like that. But it doesn't make too much sense to dump more money into something that is going to reach its breaking point. It can't run, a lot of the stuff that I needed to do probably a year or so from now. So,
well, Steve, I see people, especially some of the groups there, still putting like Thunderbolt 3 adapters in there, which they figure workarounds for. But the biggest problem with the classic Mac Pros today is that PCIe 2.0 slots. They're not fast enough anymore.
Yeah. And look, I'm all for upgrading the machine and doing silly things to it to make it last. And because of that, this thing has lasted a few years for me. I'm just saying the writing's on the wall for it eventually. For the type of stuff that I do, like the version of Final Cut Pro I have on here, it doesn't like the HDR codec that this iPhone spits out. So Bruce is a witness to this. All the exposure and color settings just went, and so everything was all overexposed. And I had to manually do it, and Bruce had to manually do it.
The important thing is that there is a way of compensating for that in Final Cut Pro if you're running. Was it Catalina?
Yeah, Catalina
in Mojave. So if you're wanting to hang on to those 32-bit apps, you can't get the latest version of Final Cut Pro running, and so therefore, and there are ways of dealing with the way it blows out the HDR, but it's not as simple as if you were to just be using the latest version of Final Cut Pro.
Or you could just do like Joe and buy a new MacBook Pro.
Or you could just not shoot in HDR.
Yeah, I turned that button off pretty quick. So, Joe, since you said your previous MacBook was something that you casually use, is obviously you're still getting used to this new machine. Is there anything that you dislike about it so far, or you're just like, hey, that's a weird feature or a weird port decision or something like that, or are you pretty happy with
everything? Just seems to work in typical Mac fashion, unless you're the super power user who knows how to push the edges of the OS. No, it does what I need it to do and gets out of the way. Now, as stated before, when it comes to my Mac stuff, I'm not a power user because I have unfortunately been corrupted by the dark side that is Bill Gates. But
all right, we have to bleep that word out.
Yeah, I know. I'm never going to be allowed on Mac Yak again, ever.
No, he's good.
But no, it's just, it does the thing. It gets out of the way. I launch apps. They launch immediately. I click buttons. Even on my Wi-Fi, like web pages load instantly as if they were on local network. It's nuts. So I can't. It's like click YouTube videos playing. Okay,
I don't have time to get my coffee
faster than they can send it to me. So it's kind of nutty. The one thing I am looking forward to actually testing, and this is one of the reasons why I went with the MacBook Pro instead of like an Air or something. One, because I'm a nerd and I like fast stuff. But two, I do want to test its video production performance compared to my Windows PC and see which one does a better job. Of course, there's no direct comparison between Windows and Mac unless you're using the same app, but that's what DaVinci Resolve is for. So I'm going to try create, just like you and I did, Steve, with FCP. I'm going to try a couple different projects on the Windows PC, on the Mac, and watch the Mac kick its butt. And then I'm going to be setting up Thunderbolts monitors and all of that stuff. And then I'll have to get another Mac because then I'll need another laptop for goofing off on. But that's what's going on. So.
Well, awesome. Well, I'm glad that you were able to share your MacBook Pro shenanigans with us. So all of us are envious. Sorry, Greg. Please.
Oh no! I was going to say because one of the things up there, and it's on the banner, is the benchmarks. Have you run any benchmarks on it as far as Geekbench or anything like that?
I have not, but if somebody wants to educate me while I can run in the background while we're talking, do I just go to the App Store and download it?
I think there are a lot of ones published. Don't you have to pay for Geekbench for the 64-bit stuff, or is that the old version?
No. You only need to pay for Geekbench for some of the tests, but just the standard one. It's
Geekbench 5, $10.
No, you can do it without paying.
Oh, it's probably on their website or something.
But a lot of people have actually already published the Geekbench results for these models, so we probably don't need to do them again.
Well, but you can't go. Are you on the App Store or are you going?
That's probably where it was asking for money on the App Store.
I'm pulling it from their website now.
Yes, okay. I was going to say, don't go to the App Store.
I'll just let it run in the background while we're talking.
He's doing it live,
and it's going to take 2 seconds. It's like, it's done.
So while Joe tortures his little MacBook Pro there, I just put this as a little topic just to have a discussion about. Obviously, Apple has not completed their M1 transition with all their machines. They have a handful that are out now. But assuming that you could afford one of the current ones out now, let's say you had a blank check for one, would you be happy getting one of those? Or would you be happy waiting to see a model like a iMac with a larger screen or a Mac Pro or a faster Mac Mini or something like that? What would you put yourself in if you had a blank check for one machine, please? Would you wait, or would you just grab one now?
I am going to wait till they come out on the used market.
Okay.
Yeah.
Even if it was free?
Huh?
Even if it was free?
Well, if I could afford it. Now, if I had money like Grudy, to just blow.
You save a lot by not going to the barber. Sorry. Easy pickings.
Yeah. Yeah, I would probably get a maxed out MacBook Pro, probably the second generation. I'd wait till next year to see.
Well, these are kind of second gen because the 13-inch.
Technically, they are.
Yeah, you would say that, but I would get a 16-inch one at least. Maxed out. I wouldn't get like the maxed out storage. I'd probably get like maybe 1 or 2 terabytes, but I wouldn't get the 4 or the 8 terabyte. I think this 8
That's
terabytes.
What I did.
You don't want to spend extra $1,000 on a few terabytes.
No, I don't want to pay the extra Apple tax. I mean, you got to already pay it for the memory.
Oh yeah,
You already got to pay it for whatever SSD you put in there, because all that stuff's soldered on now. So you don't have a choice anymore.
Yeah.
On upgrading it later. So basically, either you pay the Apple tax now or you pay for it later.
What about you, Bruce?
I'm kind of in the same boat that I cannot ever see myself. I mean, unless I have some sort of win the lottery or something like that, I will not be buying a new one of these. And that's just my MO. I mean, I've been buying secondhand Macs for forever because it's just a more sensible way to do it for my needs. But assuming, of course, I did have the option to do it, I would be looking for the 16-inch. I think it's something that I would probably get the most use from. I suppose. I mean, all the bells and whistles, I suppose.
And Grudy, which model did you get?
I got the 16 M1 Max with 64 gigs of RAM and 2 terabyte drive.
Fancy.
So you got to double the RAM that Joe got.
Yeah.
And I bet you that Final Cut Pro project will only take like 10 seconds less. So there you go. But
it'll take longer for him to download it. Remember, his internet.
Hey.
Got to wiggle that string between the two metal cans. I personally, I mean, this is why I put the topic in, because I'm thinking about the machine that Joe got is a very capable machine, obviously by the looks of it. There are some Monterey bugs I've been seeing online of people running out of memory. I think that's just an OS bug. Hopefully they can squash that pretty quickly. But yeah, we have a Mac Mini out that's a little older. I mean, they're pretty darn new and pretty darn fast still. But I'm very tempted to wait and see are we going to get an iMac with a bigger screen? Or are they going to put like 18 of these processors in a Mac Pro? Like what are they going to do? It's kind of tempting to wait, but it's also like, do I want to wait 9 months to have a faster machine? I don't know.
We forgot to mention something.
Yeah.
Monterey breaking Intel Macs.
Yeah, well, what surprise is that to any of us who are still clinging to these old silver?
Well, no. It's bricking ones that it's supposed to support.
Oh, that's nice. Well, why did you put that in the news, mister?
I didn't.
I guess we forgot about it.
We forgot. You're the one who was paying attention.
Monterey is bricking Macs up to like 2019 Intels. Might be some in the 2020s too.
So that's what happened with Joe's old Air. That's all right. Go to the Apple Store, Joe.
I guarantee it. You heard it here. I guarantee it's the race issue, and it's finally catching up with the rest of the Intel Macs.
Oh, the race
condition. Apple still hasn't fixed
it. Here's a thing that just happened too, because, and we're getting a little bit off topic here, but the open core community found this out with the newest beta of Monterey. The race condition is actually interspersed throughout the whole operating system now. They're basically looking at this as like, this might not be fixable. They're already looking at working on a patch for it, but they're optimistic, but not too optimistic. You know what I'm saying?
It translates to Apple's programmers suck at coding.
Yes, because
Apple's programmers couldn't care less about Intel anymore.
Well, for anybody that doesn't know, the race condition was basically a random number command that comes in the newest processors. Okay, so for instance, our Mac Pros, the CMPs, do not have that command anymore. So what they did is they put this one command in when it booted up, and it basically would get a random number before this next process was supposed to start. Well, sometimes the next process would start, and then it would be like in a loop in there. So it would just stay loop and loop and loop, and it would actually destroy data on any disk that was attached.
That's a nice bonus.
That Mac. Yeah. So that's the problem they were having. Well, one of these smart guys in the open core community figured out finally what was causing it, and it was I think it was like a 2 or 3 bit patch. I mean, it was not big at all, and it corrected it. And he said Apple should have fixed this a long time ago because it was a problem to begin with. And he basically said he's surprised that some of the Intel Macs that are supposed to support Monterey haven't had this problem yet and now we're starting to see this. Now,
well, I'd be very interested to know how far Apple does internally with their testing of the machines they go back to, because I know that the Microsoft Office team was notorious for having a lab full of ancient Macs just to see how old of a machine their software could run on. I bet you Apple is unfortunately not as diligent.
I don't think they really do that as much. They probably stick to whatever the processor's command system is and say, okay, we're adding these new commands. We're going to cut out everything that supported that before that. Okay. That's Apple, being Apple. They want to, I hate to say it, but it's planned obsolescence in a way. However,
it's ransomware.
Well, yeah, but however, Apple does support their hardware a lot longer than most other OSs do.
Until they brick it.
Yeah, until they brick it. Yeah.
Oh yeah, your Macintosh LC3 there is getting a little bit old. Yeah, there we go. All right, now you need a new Power Mac.
Well, I mean, but the problem with the race condition is when they first found it was only during the boot sequence. That's the only time it ever happened. And then after it booted, it was no problem at all. Your computer would run fine, no problem. The newest problem now has that command interspersed throughout the whole operating system. So when you do stuff in the operating system, it will basically have a race condition while you're running the system. So,
well, that sounds like a lot of fun, and I'm glad I'm still on Mojave, because whenever I upgrade the OS on one of these machines, I hold my breath, clutch my backed up hard drive close to my chest, and make sure all my peripherals still work. And that's why a lot of us just stick to the old things, because it's like I can't afford a day or two of downtime. I mean, we were all there when Jay clicked the wrong button on something on his machine, and everything went boop.
Yeah, his wired server, everything went down.
Everything went kaboom. So yeah, he had fun with that. But all right, so that's what I was just talking about with this topic. Anybody want to add anything before we move on?
No, I think that's good.
We're good.
Right, cool. So the next topic is kind of Mac related, maybe, sort of. I don't know. I just was thinking about this the other day, and we needed some topics, so why the heck not? I'm the host. Let's abuse that power. So just a little poll here for our friends in the chat and our guests here, of course. I was just thinking, how do you listen to music at your home or where you work? I mean, I have an iPod Hi-Fi that I actually plug the iPod into once in a blue moon. It's fun to do. I have a turntable plugged into speakers. I have a music library on a network attached storage that I can access through my computer. And there are those smart speaker things. There's the HomePod and the Google Whatsits and all that fun stuff. I'm just curious how people of our different thoughts and varieties enjoy their music. And let's go with our first guest, Joe, because he probably has 5 phonographs behind him.
Ha ha! No, but I do have a 19 Victrola in the house.
Nice.
That when the power is out, I still got music, baby.
And the neighbors are like, "Oh God, not again."
No, but seriously, no. I use an ancient, previous generation, no longer supported, but the app still works. Sonos, and a couple of Sonos speakers around the house. Those connect to a Bose. And then basically, so the Bose works as a speaker in the living room. But I also have a turntable hooked up to the Sonos as an input, so I can actually pipe it all the speakers around the house, and it's just streaming audio. WQXR out of Baltimore or whatever. Just stuff like that.
Cool. What about you, GT?
Well. In my room here, I have an old lampshade iMac G4 that has the speakers with it, the Pro speakers, and I have iTunes on that. I'll listen to tunes here with that. That sounds pretty good. Or I'll listen to it on my Mac Pro here. It has some decent speakers as well. But let's say in the living room, I have my smart TV with the Apple TV, so I can actually stream my music to that. And I have here. I'll show you real quick. But I have.
Whoa! What are you pulling out?
Yeah. For my iPhones, I have these. I don't know if you can see that very well, but
pills.
Yeah, they're Beats headphones, which
it's
Apple owns. They're wireless headphones. A lot cheaper than the AirPods. And they have noise cancellation. They sync up just the same exact way as the AirPods do. So because Apple owns Beats. So, but anyways, these sound really well. I've tried different ones. In fact, I have another set here that I'm bringing my daughter. It's Skull Candy. I paid $10 for them. They suck. Never buy them.
Here you go, honey.
The audio quality on these are horrible. So. Luckily, I only paid $10 for them. But
so rather than return them, you're shoveling them off as a gift.
But no, I just give. I asked my daughter if she wanted them. She said fine.
Beggars can't be choosers, man.
Exactly. But I listen to my music with those. I listen to my iPad sometimes. Also in the car, I have CarPlay in my Camaro. So the Apple CarPlay, so I can hook up my phone to it and listen to all my music in the car as well.
Cool.
All right. What about you, Grudy?
Well, first off,
all at the same time.
Oh yeah,
I have about probably 20 of those. So
I got into a bad habit of finding all my working iPods, finding the same song, and trying to sync them all at the same time.
You wait for the hard drives to spin up.
Yeah, not easy to do that. But anyway, I still have iTunes. I like actually being able to have my music. I still buy my music. I don't usually do streaming. The only streaming I actually do is SiriusXM because I pay for it. I might as well, stream it. I also stream that at work. That's how we listen to music at work, is through my XM account. Yeah. But anyway, I've got 2 HomePods connected to my Apple TV and TV. Got a HomePod mini in my bedroom. That thing sucks. Hardcore sucks.
Does the iMac G3 have better speakers than that?
Yes. It's terrible. I don't know why Apple thought it was a good idea to introduce that product. And the worst thing about the HomePods is they just sometimes won't refuse to sync to Apple Music. And
the one job you had.
Exactly. I actually filmed a video about that once. I said, this little HomePod mini is the perfect shape and size for baseball, which you'll want to throw it because it doesn't play music.
What's funny is I got a couple of those Alexa
the hockey pucks.
No, not the hockey puck. The baseball. They look like little baseballs.
Echo Dot.
Yeah, the dot. Yeah, the Echo Dots. Yeah.
What about you, Bruce?
I use a Zune.
I'm supposed to do that.
You're one of the 2 that actually still use a Zune in the whole world.
So there are really only 2 places that I listen to music, and that's either in the car or here at the computer. Here at the computer, I just got a couple of reasonable speakers here. I used to have really nice speakers with a really nice Rotel amplifier, but when I downsized to a smaller desk, there were no room for those things, so that's sort of been scaled down. In the car, I've just got it's Bluetooth to my phone, so I listen to my phone's music. I don't use any streaming services either. I just buy the music I listen to, or I've ripped my own CDs. And then we have the Apple TV. If I'm out in the sort of the main part of the house and I do want to listen to my music, got the Apple TV, so I can listen to my playlist from this computer on the sort of the amplifier out there. Sounds nice. So yeah, that's about it with me.
Oh, and that's the other thing I forgot to mention. You still use iTunes Match. Well, that's what it's called on older versions of iTunes. It's now called iCloud Library or something like that.
So it takes your crummy versions of the MP3s and up and gets you the better versions from iTunes.
I have all of my entire iTunes library in the cloud, so I can access it anywhere with my iPhone.
Yeah, so I had it's on one of the hard drives here. That's one of those. I don't know which one it's on. I have a music library somewhere.
Is that enough my books?
No, there's a different arrangement of the camera's going to be wobbly now. Whatever. Camera's wire is always short when you don't want it to be. But I had a music library that I meticulously put all the album art on and all this fun stuff, and then I don't know where it went. So I basically am same as Grudy and Bruce. If I want to buy an album, I'll buy a CD of it. I'll rip the disc. I'll put it on the server. I'll put it on my hard drive, and I'll listen to it that way. There's, I don't really listen to music other than the headphones in my office, just because I'm plugging it into a different machine or whatever, or my phone. In the dining room, we have my grandfather's old console speaker unit, which used to have a record player built right into it, and had the little flap and everything. Tried to repair that, wasn't worth it, so I actually have a newer turntable right on top of it. But what's nice is those speakers, they worked fine. For whatever reason, my grandfather just cut the wires off. So I just soldered on new wires and put in a new amplifier and listen to the radio and stuff like that. So that's nice. I have an old Airport Express, has an input in there, so I could always do air tunes if I really wanted to. How long has it been since you heard air tunes? And then I have a pretty nice with different, it's not a fancy surround sound setup, but it's just whatever speakers I had in the living room. So, I could always do a Bluetooth share to that. So, but I'm of the, thought of like streaming is nice. It's convenient. I'll sometimes use my wife's account if, she's not using it, because he'll boot her off if she's on it and she'll get mad at me. But most of the time I'm just listening to the albums I have that I ripped from CD or whatever. And the quality is pretty good, so I can't complain. It's been quite a journey from my first MP3 player that used a MMC card, multimedia memory card before SD cards. I think that was 32 whole megs, and the interface was basically track, listing, and pause, and that was it. So,
I think my first was a Nomad. Does anyone remember the little Nomad?
Yes.
That was. I think that was the first MP3 player that I had. But I just very quickly want to mention, when it comes to things like headphones and that, my ears are incompatible with bud headphones, so I have to use sort of over the ear ones. And I've got ones like this, which are just small ones, and then ones that are the full can type ones. And all my headphones are Sennheiser. I cannot rate the quality of sound highly enough. These little tiny Sennheisers leave some of the big ones for dead in terms of sound quality. And then
Joe's like,
and then the speakers I have in the living room are Wolfdale, and once again, I can't fault them. They're amazing. So,
well,
that's calling you crazy.
That's why, it's cuckoo. That's why I like these Bose Quiet Comforts. These are like about 6 or 7 years old, and they still work great. I love them.
These came from the same trash bin that the G3 Molar Mac came from. They were new in the box.
Don't feel bad. Mine are about the same, Steve. Mine are like $9 mono prices, mainly because they're big enough to fit over my ears and not cause ear strain.
Yeah, that's exactly. I mean, I have the Beats whatever Solo 3. I won them in a contest at work. I didn't pay for them, and they work nice. They're very nice, but these cover my ears and they don't make me feel like my ears are like going to explode after a whole Mac Yak show. So I prefer these. But I just thought that was a fun thing to discuss.
Hold on, I got one quick question about this topic here. And
so
remember when Steve Jobs and U2 got together and they offered that free album? So my question is, how many of you still have that album in your iTunes?
Still on here.
Get it off.
It's still on here.
Yes.
Every time my friggin' phone pairs to my Bluetooth, my card starts playing that darn song.
Uh-huh.
I freaking can't stand that band. I hate U2. There was no way.
I used to like
U2 on
U2,
my bloody device. No.
but that album it sucked. No wonder why they were giving it away for free, because it sucked.
They wanted to boost the album numbers.
Like, we have a free thing we can give away, yeah.
But wasn't it? wasn't it funny when they actually the uproar that it created about people saying you put things on my device that I didn't want, and it's like we're giving it away for free, and it's like it caused this massive PR exercise where they had to actually go in and find ways of disabling it because people felt like they were getting malware on their device.
Because before you could not take it off. They finally made a way where you could hide it, but it's still in your purchase history, believe it or not.
Now, my family, we have shared, to a degree, some of us share an old iTunes account. And so the second that came on, one of my brothers was like, nah, and he found the way to remove it. So I never even saw it. I never listened to it. It's never been on my device. It's probably purchased, on my account history somewhere, but someone in my family was so quick to be like, nope, it's just gone. So never even seen it on my device.
I thought that would be a cool question to ask.
That was a good one. That was a good one for sure.
Oh boy! All right, so we have a little bit of Tinker Different discussion to talk a little bit about, huh, Bruce?
Yeah. We, we'll probably keep this reasonably short, I suppose. I guess the main thing at this stage is we just want to speak to everyone in the chat and shame all of you who haven't joined yet. We've basically just been us Tinker Different. People have been behind the scenes busily making it bigger and better. We had the stats in terms of people signing up and their posting is just phenomenal. I mean, the activity on the website at the moment is extraordinary. I mean, and it's been quite a job for us as organisers. Steve will agree with that. There's been a lot
been
involved.
Easy.
But because Steve doesn't.
But anytime
I did the logo and the name. That's all I was billed for.
But the one thing that if I'm ever feeling like, oh god, this is just so much work, is you just load up the website and you have a look and you look at all these fantastic people. I mean even just when I get on there and I start reading some of these posts, the next thing you know, I'm inspired. I mean, there was a guy there talking about getting a replacement button for his Power Mac 73, 75, 76.
Oh, the power button. Yeah.
The power button on the front, because they break. They're like this sort of thing, and then they have little arms that come out the side. And as the plastic gets brittle, as the plastic gets brittle, the plastic sort of snaps off, and there's a sort of a 3D model on Thingiverse that has a replacement one, but I wasn't particularly happy with the modeling of the button on the top. So, last night I was there redesigning. You can't see because it's white, but I was redesigning the button to make it a little bit better. So you print out the base and then you stick the button on the end there. And then, of course, someone else has made a really clever little wraparound thing that you can just 3D print and slot over here on your existing button. You just slot over it, and then it just has the arms coming out, and you glue it on. And so you use this part, which is still intact, and you're just 3D printing the arms coming out. Really clever ideas,
Nice.
Fantastic stuff.
Yeah, the first time I discovered that was a problem, I went to turn on my machine, and my finger just kept going, and I'm like, what?
I got a 7600 recently that I paid next to nothing for, and it had no button at all.
Oh,
so I've just 3D printed one, and I mean, okay, the color doesn't exactly match, but it works. It's functional. That's the main thing.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of cool stuff on there. I actually posted on there the other day. And it was looking for a replacement hot air gun or heat gun for my tinkering around and such. And Bruce posted an excellent idea, and now I'm $200 poorer. So thank you, Bruce.
That's all right, but you're getting a good one, okay?
Yes.
I did ask you what your budget was. Yep. I may have pushed it to the limits of that budget, but you won't regret it. I can tell you that.
Yeah, I don't think I will. It looks like a very quality unit there. So this is some of the type of stuff where it's like, instead of me just like going on social media and going, how do I do the thing? There's a group of concentrated dorks and geeks that I'm very, very comfortable with asking these questions, and they are going to be like, yeah, here's the thing, or why are you doing that? You should do this instead. So cool stuff.
So quick question, Bruce. Have you had any trolls on there yet?
Nope.
Okay, no. Good. That's good.
We know we will. We know it's going to happen, but at this stage, we've had We've had really nothing but. I get
Joe's the
way,
moderator. Joe has a hammer.
I get way more trolls on my YouTube channel than we do on Tinker Different at the moment. So we've just got interesting. Retro Techie here said join Tinkle Different already. Just once again, wanting to mention that here in Australia, the word tinkle. If you refer to the word tinkle. It's a fairly old-fashioned way of referring to giving someone a phone call. So I'll give you a tinkle. Yeah, I'll give you a tinkle, and yeah. So it doesn't quite mean the same thing here, but
yeah, that's what my kid did when he was just learning to go to the bathroom.
Oh boy! Yeah, hopefully not on your computer.
No.
But yeah, look, it's we're just ecstatically happy. I think with the way everything is going with the website, we've had nothing but positive feedback from people who have joined it. We've got some really high profile like YouTubers and stuff like that have joined it and said really nice things about it, which is just nice to see. And of course, it's not just focused on Macs or one thing specifically. It's we've got lots of different things there, and I am going to have to go in and add some categories because I just went in. I wanted to go in the other day and post about my Dick Smith VZ300 computer, and there was no topic for me. There was none there at all. So I'm going to have to go in and add a section for VTech laser computers.
That's against the rules.
And I've already asked for a new category, and somebody hasn't put one in yet.
Yeah, I know. We'll get around it. We've actually there are a couple of things that we do need to deal with, but there've been sort of some organisational stuff that we've been having to look at, and that's been occupying most of our time. But once we get all that sorted out, we're then going to be going in and just looking, now that people have been using it for a certain amount of time, just looking in and seeing, what revisions we might make, what updates, just based on the feedback we're getting.
Yeah, I mean, launching this was a big effort. I mean, it's not me and Bruce doing all the heavy lifting. My goodness, no.
No.
A lot of people involved in this that were, taking the time to, explore options, whether it be hardware, software, plans that we have. And there's a lot of cool stuff that we've been talking about. And it's just so nice to get a version of this out in the wild and have everyone react to it. So, suggestions of different discussion, forum subtopics and stuff like that. Great. Let's hear it. I want to make sure that this is the place when I'm doing a video and someone has a question about something, you always think, well, why don't you go to low end Mac why don't you go to vintage Mac? Actually, are you on Facebook? It's like, no, just go to Tinker Different and go ask the question there, and somebody will make sure you're well taken care of and you don't grow a cat tail out of your chest, So.
Sorry. Well, Mike's not here, so
you have to pick up the slack.
Yeah.
So, Greg, don't we have some interesting eBay finds of what were they smoking variety?
It's not. I didn't add those. So.
Oh, were those old ones? Or
no, those were probably.
Well, anyway, we're going to look at them. So I'm going to share my screen. We're going to look at them anyway. How's that for a segue? We'll do it anyway. So we have our what were they smoking section here, and this is. Hold on one second. My second screen is sort of bugging out here. Hold, please. Why are you doing that?
Hurry.
Here.
Hurry.
I'm trying. Right, it's not doing.
You want me to share my screen?
Yeah, why don't you do yours? Because mine is showing a black box.
All right. Hold on a second.
Sorry. But we do have 4 items here. The first one is going to be a Macintosh Plus. And we'll wait for...
I think I saw this one.
Yeah, this is an interesting one.
Yeah.
It's not horrible, but you'll see.
It's not giving me the option for that window, which is weird.
See, that's what was happening to me. Hold, please. La, 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 la,
that collapsed though.
I actually have to allow something here, so go ahead and post a link for it. That's probably the faster way.
All right, so I'll put the link in the chat here. So this is the first eBay link. This is for a Macintosh Plus from 1986, and it's located in Illinois. So it's one of the United States computers for sale on eBay.
Oh boy!
And you got the thing up there? Come on. We'll just stretch this out for another 5 minutes. Oh, Bruce got it.
I got it.
All right, we'll just put Bruce's on there.
So, yeah, there you go. All right, what's wrong with it?
A few things.
Yeah.
The screen is screwed up.
Just a wee bit.
I like it. I like
It's
it.
like
What do you got? Vintage
shoved
Apple
in.
Macintosh. Turns on, blue screen with question mark and hard drive lights up.
Blue screen.
Can confirm working condition.
Flame shootout, working condition.
Oh wow!
Yeah, look at this. I mean, just look at the picture on that.
Yeah, let's go back up
Monitor.
and have a look at him. And,
And the last employee we fired was also in working condition.
yeah, okay. Well, yeah, there's some analog board issues there.
Yeah, you think?
Just a wee bit. I mean, all right. So they're asking $450 US.
Mm.
And
It
51
has-
cents.
And, I'm sorry, 51 cents. But you get free shipping. So at least when it arrives at your doorstep in a mangled part of plastic and metal, it would have cost you nothing. It does have an external Apple branded SCSI drive, which is nice. You don't see those too often. And it does have the mouse and the keyboard. So yeah, if you cut this price into thirds, maybe.
Yeah, well, if it was here in Australia, I'd be expecting to pay for that configuration probably about 400 Australian dollars, I would think. That's probably what I would expect for this, maybe even a bit more. But, we're all weird here, so.
I'd just buy the external hard drive. That's all I want.
Yeah, same here.
I love Patrick's comment. He says, "I think the caps on the analog board is what they were smoking."
Yeah, they're right for
Exactly.
Yeah.
And Mike is right. It is the wrong keyboard too.
Yes, that's right.
Yeah,
it's for a 512.
Which is still a good
not
keyboard to
plus.
have. I could actually do a swap because I've got a plus keyboard on my 512. So there, I could do a little swapperoonie. But I don't know if you noticed that they don't ship to Australia.
Anyway.
They don't ship to Australia.
It says it may not ship to Australia. They might ship it for you.
This is true.
For an extra $500.
Yeah.
Oh,
okay, so let's see.
Let's pop up the next one here. As I'm telling you, I don't have it on my screen.
GT's got that one.
Yep. There we go.
Ooh, look at this. This is a Macintosh Performa 575 with a mouse and set from that time, vintage from Japan. Wow, that's hard to read. Okay, so obviously this is an interesting device. It's coming from Japan, so okay, that makes a little bit more sense of the title. So that's System 7.6, the J1 version. And I'm sorry, but there is no way in hell this is going to arrive safely wherever it's being shipped.
No.
It's so yellowed too. I mean, it is.
You got a BNC network card in there.
But at least the back panel cover is still in one piece.
Yeah, that's something.
For now.
Tabs are broken off on the left side, though.
Good eye.
It's not in one piece.
We got the old 10 base 2 networking. What do you call it? Terminator there. So
yeah, I only have a box of 20 of those.
One day they'll be going up in value.
Yeah, 10 base 2. Didn't that one work out well?
Is it missing screws as well, or did I?
Yeah.
Is that? Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
The 2 screws to the door. I mean, those are just you remove them and you lose them.
A nice little reminder there of what color it used to be with the power button.
Yeah, so this is $790 too much. I mean, free shipping too. I mean, okay.
Where's it coming from?
From Japan. So now I will say every single time I've bought something from Japan, they package it beautifully. But I've bought small things, books, CDs, not a bulky computer thing. Even if this was packed so delicately, I would still expect it to arrive damaged to some condition.
That actually does have the Japanese keyboard though too.
Yeah, so that it makes sense. And that, hey, I'd love a keyboard, but not for $790.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's the problem with shipping these all-in-one Macs or any of these CRTs that have the brittle plastic around them. You really don't want to ship them, even if somebody has experience shipping these things. There's always a risk involved, even if they've shipped them perfectly before. And Joe's shaking his head because he's seen too many horrible posts on Facebook, and so have I. I have a Macintosh TV that somebody gave me as part of a trade, just for basically a freebie, and it got just destroyed in the mail. And it's sad to look at, but
I've seen that one.
Yeah,
brings a tear to the eye. Yeah.
So what was this guy smoking?
What was that guy smoking?
Maybe the broken plastic tab?
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking.
I'll do. Plastic tab. I like that one.
And he was smoking it in that little bowl for the Ethernet
the
Terminator. The BSC Terminator.
You have some experience with that, GT?
No.
It's coming from Japan, so maybe he was smoking tea.
There you go. Tea leaves.
Smoking tea.
Now, this one, I would buy this in a heartbeat if the price was right. But it's not.
I was going to say $1,200.
I mean, look, I appreciate all the work they went to with these photos. They've done a really good job, and there are even photos of it working. They've taken photos of the inside of it, but not necessarily the battery part. But the fact that it's working is encouraging. It's got this Daystar display card with it, and it looks platinum. I mean, maybe it's been retro brighted. Maybe they've just tweaked.
They played with the colors on the first picture, because in the first one you can see it's nice and clean.
And the
last picture,
it's looking a little bit more orange.
It has a SCSI SD in it.
It's got a Rastrops Colorboard 364 graphics card, a Daystar RAM power card installed. It's got the fast cache. So look, and it comes installed with a SCSI 2SD 5.2. It is a really, really good kit, but it's just too expensive. That's really what it comes down to. That's what I would expect to probably pay close to $1,000 for that here in Australia in Australian dollars. So for that to be $1,200 US, no.
Yeah, it's interesting because I have a few of those Apple RGB monitors, and none of them have that little foot stand thingy on the front. I don't know if that was a accessory included in the box or just something that was an add-on.
Yeah, you took the little
wedge.
On the
mine is just a thin piece of plastic. I don't know if it's just a earlier revision or what, but
yeah, I mean, I think there were different sizes of that.
Yeah,
I think
it wouldn't surprise me if there was one in the box. But
I have to agree with Joe. He manipulated these first couple pictures because that doesn't even look like the last picture.
There's some crazy white balance going on there. I mean, it wasn't manipulated with Photoshop. If you look at the mouse on one of the very first pictures, there it is a little bit. But with that white background, they played with the white balance on that.
Yeah, because it looks yellowed.
Beauty shots. Yeah.
You look at this last picture, it's like, whoa, that's not the same computer.
But I'll tell you what, I would love those new bus cards.
Oh, yeah.
Hey, there's a Mac Pro in the background.
Yeah, is there either a G5 or a Mac Pro hiding in the background? Yeah, I mean, honestly, it looks like it's in beautiful shape. Has it been recapped, does the guy say?
I'm just looking now.
Does not say.
Computer has been tested to work. No mention of recapping at all.
No.
But it's local pickup only.
I was going to say, props for the pickup only.
Yeah. Now, even if I was in the Kentucky area and just dying to pick this up, as a lot of us know, the Macintosh 2 CI has a lovely little area towards the back where the power button is, where there are 3 or 4 capacitors just sitting next to these 3 important chips that make up the startup circuit. And they love to leak and just get all their gooey bits and corrosive goodness right under those chips and make it a delight to clean up. So, yeah, if this hasn't been recapped and has not been really cleaned in that regard.
Here's something really interesting. There is a photo of the inside of it.
There's 3 caps missing.
If you click, there are caps there. I can count.
I see that.
At least 4 caps not there.
Yeah.
So,
well, it has been decapped. There you go.
Yeah.
Sound doesn't work.
Yeah,
I'm well on the way to a recap.
Oh goodness.
Yeah, I see that right there. As a matter of fact, yeah, that was
All
blatant.
right. My offer has gone down to $20.
No, I'll tell you what though. I mean, that Daystar card that you can see in there, you can load that up with RAM, and I think you can then turn that into a RAM disk on the computer.
Wow.
I think, and I mean that would just be an awesome thing to have. But yeah, I say I would love the card. I'll have the cards, and I've already got I think a couple of 2CIs, so no more. Thank you.
Been decapitated. All right, so this guy was probably smoking the extra caps that fell
He's
off.
definitely smoking the extra caps. Yeah.
He grated them on that cheese grater Mac behind him.
He's making
Great-
a concoction for
Great
himself.
big cap doobie.
Oh boy! All right, and what do we got here, Bruce?
Oh, is this me?
No, I was just looking at your screen. This is a PowerBook
that's-
1400.
It's actually GT screen. So.
Whoever's screen. You got the same PowerBooks. This is a PowerBook 1400
Ooh,
CS.
nice
Works
shape.
perfectly. $750. What is this guy
No.
smoking?
No. I'm just saying it's in nice shape. I didn't say nothing about the price.
Hey, did you say 1400?
A PowerBook 1400. The price is 754. Yeah. I mean, if it was 150, okay, I could kind of see that.
It's got a crack in its.
Why ain't this link working for me?
There's a crack where.
Yeah, see it right. Unless that's a hair or something.
Oh no! Yeah, bite on the hinge. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, in the other photo you could see it too.
The thing is that the 1400s are not rare. 1400s come up all the time. If you're wanting to get into the collecting Mac market, I mean, the 1400 is probably the first one anyone will end up with because there's so many of them out there.
Oh yeah.
So, yeah.
So there's a YouTube video he links to for his auction.
Why are all his pictures so narrow?
Because if you click on the YouTube video link, you'll see he shot a video in portrait mode, and all he did was take screenshots from that video for his eBay auction. And so this by his YouTube thumbnails, he's an older gentleman, so he's trying his best, and may not be tech savvy, so that's fine. But no one's going to pay $750 for a PowerBook 1400.
No.
They are decent machines. If you had the clear back that you could get for these with the Apple inserts and the box and all that stuff, maybe you could get a few $100 for the machine. But I would not think anywhere near $750.
I mean, I had one with the clear back that I sold with the inserts, as a matter of fact.
Oh yeah.
And I think I only sold it for I think it was $150.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. I mean,
not
that's
nowhere
about-
near 754.
Yeah, maybe the 7 key looked like the 1 key, and they got confused.
But I had the same issue that the crack on this little freaking hinge piece right there is a piece that always cracks, I think.
Yeah.
I had the
And-
same issue.
And Mike is saying, yeah, this is the CS model, so it's a passive matrix screen.
That's what I had as a CS model. I had
Yeah.
the same exact one.
So yeah, I mean maybe they're smoking some of the little plastic pieces from the crack there. Who knows?
Or all that dust that's on this thing. So,
Did Joe find one? I think Joe found one. He's going to show it off. Ooh,
Hold on.
Pretty.
let's make Joe big.
I'm trying to.
Make
Hold
Joe
on.
big now.
Mine's in
Still
pretty
trying
cruddy shape,
to.
and it's all in pieces. But yeah,
Yeah,
I've
see,
taken it apart. But
that just a little bit.
Just a little bit.
I was taking it apart to somebody said, "Well, that one might have some upgrade board in it."
Well,
I took it apart and it doesn't.
The problem I had with mine was that I had the floppy drive and a CD drive for it. The problem was the CD drive did not work.
Poo.
Yeah, and I had the CD software with it too, the operating system. I think it was OS 8.6, I believe, or something like that. I can't remember. But I couldn't even load the software onto it because it was on CD. And so I ended up having to go to Macintosh Garden and downloading the software on floppies and doing a 30-something disk install.
Fun.
You had a great old time.
Mhm.
So
Yeah,
when you sold it, 70% of that cost was just to earn back your time.
yeah.
Random question about these. Will these? I didn't get this thing far apart enough. Does it take a SCSI drive? Or is it an IDE?
I think it's an ID. I think that's when Apple was
It's
getting
IDE,
cheap.
I believe.
Yeah,
It's
that'd be
IDE. I think it's
Does
IDE.
it still have the SCSI bus? I mean, can you still connect an external SCSI device?
They have the bus in the back, I think.
A little one, yeah.
Well, yeah. But they also have like
They
also have like a display adapter that I actually had the cable for that too. That came with it that you could hook up to the 15-pin Apple display.
Oh yeah,
yeah.
It's got one of them beautiful ports
HDI 30.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So you're missing that one port I had on mine, which is a video port.
Well, yeah, that's on a daughter board, so you could. But yeah, that does take an ATA2 hard drive. So.
And also the memory stacks up on there too. It's kind of weird.
We have.
He's
just turning up to say nice things about the 1400, isn't he?
Hi, Mike. What are your thoughts on the 1400?
I have no thoughts. I've never actually used a 1400. I can't say. I mean, they're okay spec wise.
Yeah, I mean it's a 603E.
Well, so is my 5200 or 5300.
Yeah, well.
I honestly don't remember.
They're only like 100 megahertz though, or something like that, aren't they?
They're available at a 117 and a 166.
Yeah, I mean, my 5300s, I think, are 200.
Yeah. So
I don't even remember what model I have. I think I have a 1400, but.
Yeah, I'm curious now as well.
100 max.
As soon as the show is finished, I'm going in to see if I've got one.
See, my first PowerBook 1400 series I got via a scam on eBay. They scammed us. They sent us one that was in parts with corrosion all over the motherboard. I wonder if I could get that to work. But anyway, that was my first experience with one, so I was very underwhelmed. It did not do anything.
Well, if mine is a 1400, because I don't remember if it is. If it is, it's got a G3 upgrade in it.
Of course it does.
Yeah. I paid a pretty penny for that one, too.
I would imagine, yeah.
But I can't remember if it's a 14 or not.
Well, those were our eBay finds there. We do not have any EEP quacks for this session, however. If you are feeling very creative and you want to submit your own EEP quack thingamajiggies, you could do so on our Discord channel. And we would be happy to receive them and tell them during the show and give you credit for it.
Yep.
So
I love that part of the show.
We just don't have anything to share this week. So unless we're going to put the spotlight on Joe and have him come up with something on the fly, he's shaking his head like, "Don't look at
me." Have you ever played with a 1400 CS?
Boxers or briefs?
Boxes are so sue me. All right, so that's well, David's here, so he's been here for a while, but I guess
he's been here since the beginning.
Yeah, so he was here before we started.
We shouldn't even start the show.
He was off work today, so he said,
"Oh, okay,"
because he sent me a text message earlier and said,
"Oh, okay,
I'm off work today." So I was going to have him. I was actually going to see about having him on again, but we had already decided on having Joe on, so.
Well, I have a SCSI to SD to build for Dave, so when I do that, maybe we'll have him on after he receives it so he can make sure that it's working.
A SCSI to SD or a blue SCSI?
I'm sorry, a blue SCSI. I'm not wearing a blue shirt. It's throwing me off. That's the... No, the blue SCSI. That's exactly what I am building. And Tom sent it in a nice blue little package. And he told me on the package, he wrote not to put the resistors in the wrong way. So I will do my best when I'm
surprised if you put little arrows on a resistor pack saying they go this way.
It is my understanding that in a future revision of the blue SCSI, it is actually going to be the PCB is getting redesigned so that the resistors all go in with the little notch on one.
It's going to be Mac 84 proof. Yeah. So there you go.
Yeah, that's right.
Just like the ROS SCSI, after I wasted 8 hours of my life trying to get this poor little LC3 to install the operating system and work happily with it. Shuffle through the instructions. They're like, "Oh yeah, we made it easier."
Yeah, and they make it even easier still. I have to admit, some of the stuff that they are putting into the ROS SCSI is just amazing. Oh, yeah. I haven't got one yet, but I've got to go get one. So.
Oh yeah, those are really cool. You have to check those out. But
yep.
All right, anything else you gentlemen want to talk about before we start wrapping it up?
We just
Anybody do anything exciting this coming weekend? Joe?
I am creating a floppy connector for an Atari 520 ST out of finish nails.
Okay, there you go. That's something.
If it works, it's a solution.
That sounds like something that if you ever watch Gilligan's Island, see the professor making radios out of coconuts.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. Curiously, though, he couldn't build a boat.
Exactly, he could build everything else but a boat.
Anyone watch the beginning, and there's a hole about that size on the side of the boat, and he managed to build a radio out of coconuts.
Just hammer that in.
The hole in the boat.
What's even sneakier is that the hole is above the water line.
Yeah.
What about you, GT?
I'm not doing much of anything. I'm off the next couple of days. I've actually been playing around with a lot of the iPods I have collected and getting some of them to work and everything. I've got like 4 or 5 of them working now. I had one that had a busted screen, so now I traded it out with one that had a busted hard drive, so I swapped parts around, and now I have working ones. So
nice.
I've been having fun doing that.
So, GT, does that mean you're going to be the next guest person on my iPod series?
I could. I actually have extra parts if you need. I have extra screen, the LCD.
You're not allowed to have 2 Gregs
Nice.
on one Ruck Mods video. That would just explode everything.
G and G.
What about you, Gritty?
Well, like I said earlier in the stream, I just put the link up. We will be having my episode 3 of the Mac Oddware series where I talk about a plastic empty box. That goes live at 10 p.m. Eastern Time, so in 29 minutes. And I'm going to be filming episode 4 of that series probably this weekend, and maybe film a few other episodes of other series this weekend. So,
all right. And what about you, Bruce?
I will be doing a live stream this weekend, probably on my Sunday, so US Saturday. I haven't done one in a couple of weeks. This will be like a 2-week gap that I've had. I've just been busy doing other things. I did release a video recently of me trying to figure out how to use the Lisa operating system.
Oh, that was great.
Oh, that was a great one.
I haven't watched it yet. I need to watch it.
Well, I very nearly didn't release it because I felt like the content was just too darn boring. But I posted it up there, and one of the very first comments I got was, this content is unbelievably boring, and I could do nothing but agree with the person that posted it. But I then actually started getting a lot of really positive comments. So I'm glad that people did enjoy it, and I'm glad that I did release it, even though I very nearly canned the whole thing. But yeah, so there's that out there. But yeah, I'll be sort of back to a normal live stream this weekend. So
awesome.
We've missed you, Bruce.
Oh, thank you.
And what about you, Mike? Will you be bringing out the iHammer Mini or anything like that this weekend?
Good possibility. I'm going to use I'm not going to use the Mini. I'm going to use the iHammer Pro.
Joe's got a prototype he's holding up.
I'm going to see if I can shoehorn a NVIDIA Quadro K2200 4-gig video card into a 1,1 Mac Pro.
Oh my goodness.
Okay.
Get the fire extinguisher standing by.
El Capitan. I'm going to see if I can actually make it work, and if it actually, if it works, if it actually makes a difference on that antique piece of junk.
That sounds like fun.
Just because a buddy of mine, he owed me I gave him like 5 video cards, and I gave him my RX 560 that I had that for some reason didn't work in my Mac Pro. I don't know why, but so he needed a video card. I gave him my RX 560, so he.
Which Mac Pro, Mike?
What's that?
Which Mac Pro?
What do you mean?
1,1.
No, it wouldn't work in my 5,1.
I don't know why it wouldn't work.
I don't know why either. I mean, I have a 580 in it now, but it neither here nor there because the 580s was a much better deal. So the 560 I had left over from when I used to have my PC.
Is that card listed on the definitive Mac upgrade guide?
Which
there's
one?
a GPU list on
the Quadro?
No, the video card you were just talking about.
The 560? Yeah, it's on there. Yeah, it should have worked, but it was one of those Best Buy XFX cards, and I know some of those sometimes have issues.
Ah, okay.
So it's possible that was one of the ones that didn't play nice. Because I mean, I have an XFX one now, and it is fine. So, but so anyway, he owed me a video card or two, so he gave me this Quadro K2200, and it doesn't require any external power or anything like that. So I'm going to shoehorn that into 1,1, and I'm going to see if that makes any bit of a difference over the 4870 the HD 4870 that's in it now.
Yeah, let us know.
We're going to go from 512 megs requiring 2 external power rails to 4 gigs. It doesn't need an external power rail.
Well, make sure you have Unreal Tournament installed and we can benchmark it. So.
Yeah.
So
I can run Unreal Tournament on my Core 2 Duo ThinkPad for crying out loud.
So this weekend, I'll probably just do some more streams. I have to rearrange, like I've said, a lot of the furniture in the basement so I can actually move some stuff around. Now that one of the bunnies has been relocated upstairs temporarily, I have some more space to move around. So I'll be sweating my butt off moving crap around to try and make things less crappy. Mike is laughing because he knows exactly how futile that effort is. But we're going to try.
You just need to move stuff around so you can actually walk around your basement. Period.
Yes, there we go.
But you did your first recapping live stream in a while yesterday, didn't you? So that was good to see again.
Yeah. So I was playing around with the Mac Plus after a lot of failed IRDA attempts. I said, you know what? Let's just go back to what we know. And I couldn't find my tweezers. My hot air gun decided to go belly up. So we're rectifying that, but we did some recapping. I was holding caps with pliers. That was not a good idea.
I love that. You were holding them in place sometimes with the tip of a scalpel, and sometimes with some wire cutters. That was
neither of those solutions were a good idea. But I had to do something. I couldn't use my fat fingers.
I hope the person's getting that board for a discount.
That was mine. So I'm very discounted. Yeah, that was the board that I had in my 550. So when I recapped Mike's Performa 500 or LC 500 series board, I pulled that out of the back and oh yeah, this is mine. I should recap this one of these days and put it in the back of the pile because I haven't had time to do my own stuff. But yeah, so there'll be more recapping, I'm sure, with a bunch of mess in the background. But what else is there? But anyway, if you like us so much, please subscribe to this channel on YouTube. We only do a video once a week, and if you want to click that little notification bell, we won't bug you too often, we promise. And if you want to subscribe, please do so. We also have a Discord channel, and that is a link that is right there. What's great about that is we post a lot of the topics or the news articles or what were they smoking stuff or the eat quacks sometimes in Discord. And it's a place for you to converse and talk about things. There's a lot of fun stuff going on there. Topics for everybody. So check that out if you're on Discord. Love to see you guys there. And that's about it. I guess we'll catch you next week. But thank you so much, Joe, for taking the time to hang out with a bunch of us dorks. We greatly appreciate it.
I have one more thing to go.
One
more thing. One more thing.
Smash that like button.
Yeah, he knew when it was coming.
but thank you again, Joe, for being our guest. We'd love to have you back on again. And you just keep toiling away at that MacBook Pro, huh?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. All right. Well, that's about it for now, guys. Thank you very much for watching. Subscribe, like, all that fun stuff. We'll catch you later.
Bye.
Bye.